Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. It is absolutely glorious evening out here. It is all-time high today. I think it was about 32 degrees, maybe even warmer. It is boiling in the UK at the moment. So today I'm going to be talking about some common problems which I see when working with local business owners. So for those of you who are new to the channel, my name's Sam. I am a freelance digital marketer and I've been working mainly with local businesses over the last few years. And I've spent probably well into the 7 figures in ad spend, helping these businesses generate more leads, more traffic, and ultimately more revenue for their businesses. And some common issues I encounter over and over again. Number one is that they don't have a steady flow of leads. Many, especially old school business owners, those who are in maybe in the trades, or they're just a little bit more old school in the way they do things, many people rely on referrals and word of mouth, or perhaps just SEO, search engine optimization, organic search, which, you know, it isn't always consistent. It comes in dribs and drabs. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's a feast, sometimes it's a famine, but they don't have a consistent system which brings in regular appointments, regular quotes to bring in new work. Building a pipeline and having consistent lead flow is something which I see a lot of local business owners neglect, and they rely too heavily on word of mouth and referrals. And although this is, you know, it should be a business's goal to get to a point where you have a lot of inbound leads coming in, a lot of referrals, word of mouth. They're very, very easy to close these deals, but ultimately they're not, you can't always rely on them. You can't, that's more of a nice to have. If you neglect the marketing, if you neglect the outreach and the pipeline building, whether it's organic outreach systems like more traditional methods like flyering, or even radio, television, social media, or whether you're going to go into like the social digital paid advertising, whether it's on like Google ads or Meta ads or platforms like this. So if you don't have a predictable way to build your pipeline, you're relying on just luck, and ultimately you're vulnerable. You could have a really busy period one month and it could be really quiet the next. And if you have outgoings, if you have a family to support, if you have staff on board, it's not always going to be like you're putting your business at risk. You're putting those you care about at risk. Building up a solid pipeline and a steady flow of leads also means that you can charge what you're worth, because you're not desperate. You're not in a place where you're panicking that you have no work. People can sense that. Customers can sense that. If you are in a place where you have high demand for your services, you have plenty of work booked up for months, then you're going to be more willing to turn down work where you're being underpaid, you're not being paid what you're worth. So it's very important to keep a full pipeline. Another problem I see a lot of local businesses make is they don't have a good follow-up system, or if they do have a follow-up system, it's not effective. They're not replying fast enough to leads. Nowadays we have AI agents which can respond instantly to new inbound leads. They can be trained to answer queries. Sometimes I've seen business owners leave good warm leads, or were once warm, in their inbox for days on end. And then I go back through their CRM and it's like, hang on, you haven't responded to this. He asked you how much, or he asked you when are you, like, I'm available on Friday for an appointment, and he didn't respond to him or show up, and now he's probably gone somewhere else. So having an effective follow-up process is so important, and it will increase your revenue and the amount of work you get booked in tenfold. So the next thing I see many local businesses struggle with is sales. Maybe they have a full pipeline, maybe they have a good follow-up process, but when it comes to actually going to price a job, they absolutely cannot close a deal, or the slightest objection they don't know how to handle it. Many business owners, if they're reliant on word of mouth and referrals, most of these jobs are a done deal already. But in order to really scale and grow your business, you have to learn how to sell. And if you're doing a lot of outbound marketing, if you're running paid ads, if you're doing a lot of outreach, building up your pipeline, a lot of these leads need nurtured. A lot of these leads are going to be getting quotes elsewhere. And if your competitors have superior offers, superior sales skills to you, then you're going to miss out on a huge opportunity. So learning how to sell, learning how to handle people's objections is going to really make a huge difference here. As a marketer, there's only so much I can do on my end to help a business owner. It's my job to generate leads, to build a pipeline, to set up systems in place in order to generate people more appointments and more quotes. But if these business owners can't close deals when they get there, or they can't handle objections, then it ultimately makes my job a waste of time, because generating the appointments, generating the leads is only half the battle. A common objection could be, I need to think about that. Well, you could handle that by saying, okay, fair enough. Well, what is it that you need to think about? Maybe I can clarify, maybe I've missed something out that I could clarify for you right now. Another one could be, I need to speak to my partner. This is a very, very common one. I get this all the time. You could handle this by saying, yeah, I totally understand that. What is it exactly that your partner needs clarification on? Is it budget? Is it timing? Is it schedule? Maybe I can help clarify some of that now. A very common one is price objection. Look, it's too expensive, or I've had a cheaper quote elsewhere. Quite commonly, if you're getting the price objection, this just means that they don't see, you haven't displayed enough value in what it is you're offering yet. Because if they really see that you stand heads and shoulders above the competition in terms of quality, in terms of service, they will choose you. Just list some more of the benefits. Look, ours comes with a 20-year guarantee. We have we use materials which last longer, much more durable than many of our competitors. Or you could just ask them, I get that, what were you hoping to invest in this? And maybe we can put together a payment plan or find some middle ground. You don't want to reduce your price, but offering a payment plan can definitely make things more affordable and manageable for some people who struggle with the budget. There's a common misconception that sales people are sleazy, are pushy. It's simply not true. Selling, you're just communicating in a way that you are showing the value of it is what you're offering. You're communicating how your product or service is able to solve someone's problem. That's all it is. If you can get really good at handling objections, your close rate will go up drastically, because it's very rare that you get on a sales call or you go and quote a job and you close it straight away. Many people have different objections. It's not always the right time. They often want to speak to their partner. They often have an issue with price. These are two of the most common objections. And if you can learn how to handle these, your close rate will go up a lot. Whatever niche you're in, there's only going to be so many objections that you will encounter. And once you have a lot of experience in a niche and you've written down all the objections and come up with rebuttals on how to handle them, you basically have an answer for every objection that a prospect can possibly have. So the key takeaways from this video is, number one, build a system, build a lead system that scales with you, a predictable way of generating leads and building a pipeline. The second one is building an effective follow-up system, so you're not leaving leads waiting for hours or, God forbid, even days before you get back to them. The third one is practice your sales skills. Get very comfortable with handling objections. Write down all the objections that you get and come up with rebuttals on how to handle them. So if you master these things, you'll be ahead of 95% of the competition. Still, to this day, I cannot believe how many local businesses rely purely on word of mouth and referrals, and they are absolutely terrible at getting back to people in a timely manner. And because they're used to just closing very warm leads, they haven't built a sales process. They're not very good at handling objections. So overcome these and you'll be an absolute beast. If you want to book a call with me, schedule one below, click the link, and we can have a chat about how I can potentially help grow your brand, grow your business, and help you scale. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Catch you later.